So we'd like to think what is the best fit for a particular model. And I actually head the committee that really takes in submissions and looks at that. And so I'm really hoping that even if I don't get to talk to you directly today, that you'll take one of my business cards and call me up or send me an email, because I really would love to discuss specific models with researchers. Two of the pathways that are probably most relevant to you would be this Emerging Models program and the Taconic Transgenic Models program. So if you have a newer model, it may be best suited as an emerging model. As it develops and matures, it could progress to a TTM, and we certainly have in-licensed things that were emerging models. The product life cycle may be lengthy. It could take a number of years of continued works. I mean, every once in a while there's a model where everybody says, hey, that's what I want, and uses it, but I think that's probably not the usual. And then we have to retire relevant models. We also have to consider your goals and needs for each model. So if you have a need to have a licensing restriction, it's probably best suited for an emerging model. Our Taconic Transgenic models are sold under a label license to anyone who calls up and buys them. We don't have any additional restrictions on that, and that's not going to change. So if you have additional restrictions that would have to be placed on your model, we could accommodate that in the Emerging Models program. You can also choose whether or not to give breeding or crossbreeding rights. TTMs, we do not allow breeding of, because obviously if you buy them and breed them, we won't sell you anymore. But if you have an emerging model colony, maybe you just want to provide it to other researchers, if you just want to produce enough to sell some breeding pairs, you can grant breeding rights and share that fully with your academic peers. For the Emerging Models program, it's really my job to work with sponsors to help get inventory levels right. So you want to have colonies that are sized appropriately to meet your own internal needs and the needs of other folks, but not have a glut of animals that have to be discarded, of course. We can help you define MTAs, and probably your tech transfer office can help you with that as well. Maybe you have specific MTAs that you want. If you have a model that you really think might be valuable, you can still do upfront licensing, but distribute it through Taconic and the Emerging Models program. So that's certainly possible, and it gives you that cleaner health standard. And help you price the models appropriately. So certainly NIAID offers a lot of models through our Emerging Models program, and they're $30 a piece because they really have the funds to support that. But we also have models that are priced at $300 a piece, and people do buy them. So that's certainly possible. So we handle the administration of the MTAs. If there are changes suggested, and it seems like there always are, I would go back to the tech transfer office. But most of the time that works pretty smoothly, so you don't get bothered at all, really. So the animals are listed on our website. We have a Taconic model number. Somebody calls up, places an order. We handle all the order taking, fulfillment, the invoicing. No animals are sent out without a signed, fully executed MTA. So there's you really keep control of the IP. I know that sometimes there is a suspicion that animals get sent out, from investigators' labs directly without necessarily an MTA. It removes any of that issue. So there's definitely control over the animals. And we can give you lists of exactly who got them, when they got them, what they bought. We can definitely work with you for that. Again, it's that clean health standard that allows these animals to be accepted directly in and used without quarantine. And it allows for cost recovery of your distribution efforts. So you set the price, and we work with you to set that price. 80% of that price goes back to you to offset your production needs. The other 20% goes to Taconic basically for marketing efforts, technical support. So if somebody calls up and asks a question, I'm the one who answers that generally. And I can usually answer the questions. If I can't, I will come to you for that. But we definitely have somebody who can take a lot of that burden, that upfront burden off. And really, when you have the model available, people know about it. They know, oh, I can get this one. Maybe this model is a little bit different, but I'm going to work with this one because I can get it pretty easily and get access to it. And so it facilitates use of your model by other researchers and continuing publications on that model.